Hi everyone, and welcome to another Wellspring Early Years Program Virtual Parent Workshop. My name is Michelle, and today's workshop is all about the importance of play. To get started, we're going to talk about some definitions of play, then talk about how it develops over time, why it's so important for our kiddos, and finally, some steps to encourage play in our children. So, what is play? It's kind of a funny question to ask, considering that, for most of us, play has been a part of our lives forever, and we've probably never had to stop and consider what it is. But decades of research have worked to try to pin down the official definition, and the following features tend to be the most common that researchers discuss. Although it's really hard to define, play is generally expected to be enjoyable and fun. It's also typically internally motivated, meaning that it's motivated by the individual rather than any outside goal or task. Similarly, play is also typically controlled by the person or people that are playing, rather than outside influences. Next, play is typically spontaneous and frequently non-literal. Things in play don't have to make sense in the real world, and they're often pretend or make-believe. Next, it's generally thought that play is universal to all children and cultures, and in fact, the United Nations deem play to be a human right for children. Lastly, when playing, there is generally a greater focus on process rather than product. That is to say that when you're playing, you're enjoying the actual act and process of playing rather than the outcome of the play. So as you can see, the definitions for play make it quite broad. An activity doesn't have to meet all of these criteria for a child to be playing. Playing is unique to the individual, and therefore, no matter how much research scientists do, it would be impossible to hammer down one solid definition. But with these definitions in mind, I want you to take a second to think of the last time you played. When was the last time you did something fun, non-goal-oriented, and spontaneous? It's tricky to think of. As adults, we're often so focused on our goals and tasks, housework, social obligations, work, and we so rarely slip into spontaneous play activities. But now think about your kiddo. I'm sure it's easy to think about all the times they play in a day, and that's great. As you probably know, depending on the age of the child, play might look very different. There's no straight line of play development that a child takes, but as they grow and mature, you'll notice different sorts of playing develop. Generally, the stages of play are grouped into 6 stages. Unoccupied play, which you often see in infants where they're simply moving around and discovering how their body moves. Solitary play. Again, this is a type of play you'll often see with babies, and it will continue throughout their growth. As the name suggests, solitary play is when kiddos are playing alone. Before the age of 2, it's not uncommon for children to mainly engage in this type of play, and not be too interested in playing with others just yet. The next type of play is often called onlooker behavior, where kids are watching other kids playing. They're learning from what they're doing, but they're not quite ready to play with them yet. The next stage of play is parallel play. In parallel play, the child is playing alongside others or near others, but they're not directly playing with them. You might see this when you take your toddler to a play date or preschool. They're playing around other children, but not really interacting fully quite yet. The next stage is associate play. In associate play, children begin playing with the people around them, but there's relatively little interaction. You might see them all playing with the same toys together, but they aren't necessarily doing the same things. The next stage of play is cooperative play, and this is the type of play you'll start to see as your kiddo reaches preschool age and beyond. They begin to truly play with other kids, letting other players into their imaginary world and focusing on a task together. They're participating cooperatively in the play. And these stages of play tend to follow certain patterns with age, but they're not hard and fast rules. So as we talk about them, if your child played differently than this at different ages, then don't worry about it. But if you are concerned about your child's play behaviors, you can always bring it up with your family doctor or pediatrician. As you could probably guess, the development of play starts in your new baby when they're just born. Throughout their first year of life, your baby grows so much. They're learning all about themselves, you, and the world around them, and they're growing like crazy. In their first months, baby's vision starts to improve as their eyes and brain mature. They love looking at brightly colored objects and watching you. They might enjoy watching you move things around, toys or baby-safe mirrors, or moving your face around. They will also be wiggling around and moving their body as they learn all the ways that they can move. You might start to notice them grasping at toys and tracking or following things with their eyes. During this time, their favorite toy is you. They love looking at your face, and this is such a great time to start building your social connection to your baby. Over the next little bit of your baby's development, you'll start to see them moving more purposefully. Perhaps they might have a favorite toy that they'll reach and grab for. Still, brightly colored toys and books that move and have different textures are going to be big hits. And, as I'm sure you're aware, they start to put everything in their mouths. Not only does tasting and chewing their toys sometimes help with teething pain, it's actually how babies learn about the world around them. They're trying to explore with all 5 of their senses, taste and touch included. As babies approach their first birthday, you'll start to see even more purposeful play. They might have specific ways of playing with certain toys. They might enjoy stacking blocks, knocking things over, or banging items together. Of course, this is all part of their growth and learning. And of course, they're still probably putting everything in their mouths. But that's okay, just make sure that their toys are safe and have no small pieces that might break off and cause them to choke. There are lots of little activities that you can do with your baby to play with them during the first year. In the first couple of months, explore tracking, looking, and seeing. Use colorful objects, mirrors around the house, or best of all, your face, to move around. Put something about a foot in front of your baby's face and move it back and forth, or make silly faces. As your baby's eyesight improves, they'll start to follow these colorful objects and reach for them. Sometimes this ends up being your face or hair, but that's all part of the fun. As your baby gets tired of these sorts of interactions, they might start to get fussy, but that's just them letting you know that they've had enough of this game. Items that make noise, like Tupperware containers filled with blocks, rattles, or crinkly paper, will also draw your baby's attention and make for lots of fun. Items that can be stacked, filled, emptied, and knocked over are also so exciting. Try using blocks, boxes, or your handy Tupperware and create towers and then crash them over. Remember, you are also a really fun toy for your little one. The faces you make, the songs you sing, the noises you make, your hair, your face, your nose, everything, that's all super exciting for them. So don't forget that you are one of the best toys for your little one, and you can be a lot of fun to play with. Of course, another important part of play for babies is tummy time. Babies spend a lot of time on their backs, especially since that is the safest place for them to sleep. But supervised tummy time is so important for helping babies build their strength. Tummy time, in particular, helps babies develop the muscles in their head, neck, shoulders, and upper back. And this muscle development is important for all sorts of other activities later in life. With little babies, you might want to start gradually, especially since lots of newborns don't really like tummy time. Sometimes it's helpful to try a bit of tummy time with your baby on your chest or lap. But as they get bigger, it's great to try to do your supervised tummy time on a nice firm surface. Start out slow. For example, every time you change your new baby's diaper, do a minute of supervised tummy time. As they get bigger and stronger, you can do more tummy time for longer and engage them in play during it. Try holding out a mirror or rattles in front of your baby so that they can look and reach. If you find that your baby doesn't tolerate tummy time very well, you can try to modify it a little bit. Try putting their elbows on a pillow to prop them up a little bit, or prop their torso or an upper body on something like a nursing pillow just to help them out. Or you could try tummy to tummy, placing them on your tummy while they do their tummy time. This might help them tolerate tummy time a little better if they struggle with it. Think of tummy time as a workout for your baby and do your best to make it fun. From 12 months onwards, babies' play will skyrocket. Now they are moving and cruising and they're ready to explore everything. They will start to learn how things work and cause and effect become interesting. They might like dumping water out of a bucket, sorting things by size. Learning how the world works and problem solving is huge for them at this age. They want to see exactly what they can do with all the different objects around them. And alongside this comes repetition. They're going to try the same thing over and over again, seeing if they get the same result. But that's just part of their play. They also start to enjoy more social play. Practicing talking with toy phones, listening to and singing songs, reading books with you, or playing patty cake. And now that they are on the move, toys that can be pulled or pushed become super exciting. Tunnels that they can crawl through, ramps they can climb, slides they can go down. Now that they're on the move, they're ready to go. You want to facilitate this by giving them lots of space to crawl, cruise, walk, run, climb. This is an exciting time. Most play will still be solitary at this point, but you might start to see them paying more attention to other kids and seeing how they play with a toy or how they knock something over. This is super great because other babies think of new ways to do things that you or your family members might never think of. So this is an exciting way for little ones to start soaking up the world and seeing that everyone has their own way of doing things and allows them to experiment with new ways of playing that they might not have thought of. As you enter the preschool years, this exciting time is full of imagination. Preschoolers love to play pretend, and toys like mini kitchen sets, doctor's outfits, and tools are a huge source of entertainment as they make believe that they're doing tasks that they see other people doing. However, you don't need a perfect kitchen set for making make-believe dinner parties. Using toys like blocks that can have multiple purposes is great for imagination. A block can be a slice of cheese in one game and a cell phone in the other. And the fact that your child can understand that through imagination the block is able to represent a different object means that they are thinking and growing with a sophisticated mind. Their play may also have sequence to it. They might make a sandwich out of their toys and then present it to you. It's no longer just random actions. They're putting together sequences of meaningful behavior that they've observed. Preschoolers also enjoy choice, as I'm sure you know. They want to choose what they do and when they do it, and you can help this by providing choices and options for them to choose from. Preschoolers also enjoy learning through their play, whether that's through problem-solving play like a puzzle, or through learning new songs like Head, Shoulders, Knees, and Toes, or through word games like I Spy. You might start to see your preschoolers' social skills start to take off as they interact more with their peers during play. Toddlers especially, but also preschoolers, are all about repetition and learning how things work. So more items that can be filled and dumped out are great games. Noisemakers and musical instruments like pots and pans are a great type of fun as well, especially as your child starts to learn about music and starts to have their own tastes in music. Simple puzzles and books are great things that you can do together. Reading together is a great way to build a social relationship with your child, get them interested in reading, and help teach them lots of new lessons. Bubbles, chalk, crayons, sand, and water play are also great structured play activities that you can supervise while your child has lots of fun. As imagination develops, generic items like blocks, an empty toilet paper roll, and a big box all of a sudden can become something magical, like a pirate ship full of gold with an excellent telescope. Seemingly mundane things around the house can become the best thing for their imaginary world, so encourage that. Miniature sets like doctor's sets or kitchen sets are also great, but you don't need all of that. You can use things from around the house to simulate those experiences with your little one's creative imagination. By school age, we start to see a lot more cooperative play. Kids are eager to play with their friends and invite them into their imaginary world, but they may return to solitary play or onlooker behavior when they're in a new environment. Playing with toys and playing pretend continue to be big hits, but structured activities that they can participate in, like sports or music, appeal to them as well, and they may start to develop certain interests. Creating things and making things become another important part of play at this point. So now that we know what play is and how it develops over time, I'm sure you're starting to wonder about the topic of this workshop. Why is play so important? Well, it's a tricky question to answer, and scientists have debated it for literally centuries. But there are a few predominant theories out there that try to explain why play is so important. Most of the theories of play are based on theories focusing on child development, but we really don't have time to get into all of those today. That could be an entire university degree worth of information. But I'll discuss some of the modern understandings of why play is so important. One of the first reasons is exploration. Play allows children to explore the world. It allows them to think, hey, what can I do with this? And then explore it and learn about the world and their position and capabilities within it. exploring and learning about the world around them allows babies and children to feel more secure and moderate their attention and anxieties. If they know what things are, then they know that they don't have to be scared of it. And then they can have more fun, feel more comfortable where they are, feel safe. This is all part of their development and learning all about how things work, why things go, and what they can do. The next reason is brain development or cognitive development. Play allows for creativity to be developed, problem solving, adaptation, and flexibility. These are hugely important processes for children to develop, and play is a great way for them to do it in a self-directed and fun, natural way. The next one is learning about social roles. Through pretend play and play with other children, play with you and your family, children learn about society and how to interact with others. They learn what not to do, like pushing someone down when they want their toy, and what they should do, like pretending to pay money for a fake sandwich at a pretend restaurant. With all these explanations, and regardless of the theories, it's clear that play plays an important role in child development and well-being. So next time you're worried about your little one spending more time playing than doing formal education, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic when everyone is stuck at home, remember that they're actually learning so much. They're exploring, they're helping their brain and cognitive development, and they're learning about different social worlds and how they relate personally to the world around them. So we can see that play is clearly very important, and there are a lot of steps that you can take to promote play with your children. Firstly, babies and children are most likely to explore and play when they feel safe and secure. Ensuring your kiddo knows that you are there and that if they need you, you'll be ready for them will make them feel safe to explore and play with their surroundings independently. Next, provide diversity and choice. Kids often have a few favorite toys, but it's also great to switch their toy variety up every now and then. Every little bit, consider taking the toys from the bottom of the toy trunk and moving them up to the top to switch things up. Next, try to encourage imagination. Toys that can be used in multiple ways, rather than just one, are great for fostering imagination. Blocks, balls, and shapes can be a million different items, and that is great for your kiddo's growing brain. Next, pay attention to where they're at. Every child is different. They have different interests, and of course, no child follows the same exact pattern as another. Listen to their interests and observe what they like to do. Don't try to make them play the way you think they should be playing. But if you are concerned about their play and development, you can always talk to your pediatrician or general practitioner about it. Lastly, provide time for both structured and unstructured play. Structured play is great sometimes. Kids sometimes need that little bit of structure and guidance to learn about a certain toy or sing a song, but make sure you leave plenty of time for unstructured play as well. Let your kiddo take the lead and play however they think is best, of course, as long as that is safe. Most importantly, I encourage you to try to play too. For kids, especially babies and toddlers, you are their very best friend. At the start of this session, I asked you to think about the last time that you played, and it was probably difficult to think of. It's not easy as an adult to put your goals and tasks to the side and just be spontaneous, but do your best. Try to enter your child's imaginary world. Say yes to the crazy scenario your preschooler made up in their head. Make silly faces at your baby so that they laugh. Crawl around the room with your toddler. I promise you it will be exhausting, but so worth it. Just like it's your job to be a parent, it's your kiddo's job to play. And providing a safe space full of age-appropriate play opportunities is so important for your child's development and will be so rewarding for you as their parent. If you want to learn more, check out the description below for some great resources on play. Thanks for joining our workshop today. I hope that you had fun, and I hope that you're inspired to go play a little bit today. Enjoy the rest of the summer, and make sure you tune in for more Circle Times on the Wellspring Early Years Program YouTube channel. Thanks for watching. Bye.